Welcome to the Streamline to Scale podcast, where we help online business owners just like you go from 6 to 7 figures with ease. I'm Erin, and after years of working with companies to achieve sustainable growth, I've learned that the key to success lies in simplicity. Tune in to the Streamline to Scale podcast, where we're turning business dreams into reality. Hey there, welcome back to the Streamline to Scale podcast. I'm Erin Persinger, CEO of Premier Virtual Operations and host of the Ethical Hiring Hub Facebook group. I'm super excited that you're here with me today because we are going to talk about something I see very commonly in the online space, and that is procrastination when it comes to your hire. So about once a week, someone tells me, Erin, I'm going to have you help me hire when, and then it's always different at the back end, right? Some of the most common ones I get are when I finish my back end systems and SOPs, when I finish this coaching program, after I work with this marketing strategist, when I get more income, when I have more space in my day to devote to the hire. So let me tell you the problem with all of those excuses. You will never move beyond your win without a team member. So whenever we go into a team, whether it's a 6-figure team, it's a 7-figure team, anywhere in between, what we do first is we plant one team member, just one, not a whole entire team, not 5, not 6. You just have to start with one. And 75% of the time, that person is an assistant, a general assistant. Now, I can't say for certain that you need a general assistant, and there's ways we go about figuring out exactly who you need for your business. But usually it's the right-hand person, and that person is there to pull you out of overwhelm enough so you can scale, so you can get to hire number 2, 3, 4. And they also will help you finalize your systems, your SOPs, all of those things. Now, you've heard me say over and over again, there's certain systems you need before you're hired. And there are. You have to put a little bit of time in the front end. So I'm not trying to sell you some pipe dream where you just go out, you throw up a job ad, you get the perfect person, and that's it. It doesn't work that way. You have to invest the time in the front end so you can see the results in the long term. And that's what people are missing in the online space. They think that they don't have time and they're caught on a perpetual hamster wheel. So one example is you go to work with a business coach. And I get this a lot. Like, I'm coming to you after I finish with this business coach, or I just signed up with that business coach, or a strategist, or whatever, a consultant. So the problem with that comes when you go to this marketing coach, business coach, sales coach, and I love these people. I'm not knocking this. My business has made leaps and bounds of growth through other people. But the problem is, if I didn't have a team to help me implement the systems those people are selling, then I would stay stuck. I would think I wasn't getting the results that I wanted from those programs, and I wouldn't be, because what happens is the consistency is where you get results. And it wouldn't be the person's fault that developed the program. It's my fault, right? Because there's not enough of me to implement. Same thing with revenue. Like, I'm going to hire when I grow more revenue. How are you going to grow more revenue? And I'm not saying hire whenever you're in the red or anything like that. But if you want to increase your revenue, you have to make more availability for yourself in order to increase your revenue. So sometimes time invested in the front end will bring a huge ROI in the back end. And that's what we keep failing to see over and over again. Your systems will forever be evolving. You will not have things set up enough to get your hire on and feel comfortable ever. They will constantly evolve. You will constantly be learning something new. We work in the online space wherein tomorrow we may wake up and things be completely different where they were today. We have to be able to stay up with the changes. Yes, you will hear me teach about you need the core systems in your business. You need some of those before you hire. And I'm talking about a very simple system set up before you hire. Very, very simple that we walk our clients through. And then you bring that hire in. They help you expand everything. So I've had clients who came to me with 0 team. And then 6 months later, they were able to increase their capacity by 150%. A year later, they're crushing their goals. They have met and exceeded their quarterly goals. And this is true story about a client. I actually had a client tell me this. They have exceeded their quarterly goals in an economy that is hard, where people say it's hard to sell, and everybody has that mentality of like, oh, it's just the economy. But because they put this proper foundation in their business, and they have moved from 1 hire now to 3 hires with more revenue than they ever thought possible before. And not even just revenue, but profits, because they have invested enough until they're reaping the benefits on the back end now. And I'm seeing that happen over and over again. You have to invest the time in the beginning to get the reward in the long run. So we're going to talk about how you can streamline that hiring process and how you can overcome some of those hiring challenges that do slow you down. So of course, the first thing when we're talking about streamlining the hiring process is you have to know who you're going to hire and clearly define that role. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? It's not going to be good to go hire whoever and then this not be the right person. And then you're on a vicious cycle of starting again. And so that does waste more of your time than necessary. So I've had people come in who have told me that they think they need like an assistant and we'll dig in and they really need a graphic designer or they really need a video editor or things like that. So you want to make sure that you know exactly who you're going to hire and craft the job description based on that, because that will collapse the time that it takes you to get to a good hire. That's one of the most important things. And then you want to develop a repeatable hiring funnel, because in the beginning, remember, we're not thinking about just hiring this one person. We're thinking about eventually we'll be expanding and things like that. So I have a motto in my business that everything I do, I try to only do one time. And that doesn't always work out, of course, right? Because like I said, we're always evolving and changing. But also, if you set up that repeatable hiring funnel in the beginning, there's a lot of that hiring funnel, probably 75% of your hiring funnel is repeatable with each hire. You've set that up one time, it's there. It's ready to grow with your business. And this will be true if you're at not hit 6 figures or if you're over 7 figures, your hiring funnel can basically stay the same. You can just elevate it. You can enhance it for whatever job you're hiring for, but the nuts and bolts of it will stay the same. You also want to leverage some technology when you're hiring. That kind of streamlines the hiring process. If you know where to look, you've set up things in the back end of your business so it's streamlined through the process. So you keep good track of people. So you're not pulling your hair out all the time like, what am I doing next? What am I doing next? What am I doing now? And so one thing you want to do too is you want to make sure you hire for the right fit and not just to fill the position quickly. I see this happen a lot too. People have decided, yes, it's time to hire, but now they get to the hiring process and they want to rush the whole thing. And people will come to me and be like, I need a hire. I need her in a week. And I'm always like, I am not the girl for you. If you need a hire in a week, I'm not the person for you, because those hires will never stick around. They will never last in the long run. Business owners often get tunnel vision when they hire. And what happens is they just put the first person in that comes through their world and that's it. They've been referred by somebody and you take that and you run with it, even though they're not really the right fit for your business. I had that happen with a client of mine named Tammy. She had hired and it had never stuck because she was quickly hiring. So she didn't understand. And she was like, I'm the problem. I'm not cut out to have a team. What's going on? So when we went back and we hired for her, her assistant now has been with her over a year because she hired the person that was right for her business. And we cut down that time for her. So she didn't have the turnover time, because if you rush through in the beginning, then it costs you more time in the end. The same thing if you stall in the beginning, it costs you more time in the end. So there's some common hiring challenges that entrepreneurs will face during the hiring process. One is that they won't have the proper systems set up to start with, and they have no guidance on that system. That's one of the things we try to avoid with our programs, because we really want our people to understand how to hire and what to have set up before you hire. So there are a couple things. You want to understand how you're going to communicate with people. You want to know a training plan for these people when they come on, because in the long run, that will save you time. Most of our people come to me and they say their hires were fully up to speed in 2 to 6 weeks. That's the general time frame that we get from the feedback from the clients. And from anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, you have a assistant or whatever your team member is in your business, and they're fully up to speed. So now you've taken maybe 21 days to hire this person, because 3 weeks is really a good time frame for hiring by the time you get through your whole entire hiring funnel. And then 2 more weeks or even 6 weeks to train the person. So you're looking at right around 2 months somewhere for a person that's in your team that will be with you long term, versus you going out and hiring someone. You take a week, 2 weeks to hire them, you throw them in your business. 2 weeks later, they're gone. You are repeating the whole process over and over and over again, and it will cost you more time in the long run. So you don't want to get tunnel vision when you hire either. I had a client named Alicia. She thought for sure, she was so certain that she needed an assistant in her business. And this was one situation where she actually needed a graphic designer. So when we brought her graphic designer on, that freed up so much of her time that she was able to expand the business, bring in extra revenue. And now she does have an assistant. We have hired an assistant for her, but that was not the first hire she needed. So you don't want to get tunnel vision on one thing and be so stuck on that one thing that you think, oh my gosh, then I can't move away from this, even though it's not what you need. So that's my suggestion to you too, is to not get tunnel vision. Bring a friend in to evaluate your hiring candidates. Sometimes they can see things better than you do. That's what makes our program work really well for people. It's not even, of course, I like to think we're good at hiring because we do that all day long, but it's not even that as much as like a second set of eyes on things is amazing. It's game changing, right? Because you get tunnel vision as a business owner. You're just trying to get quick. You're just trying to get it done, and it will cost you more in the long run. And once you have that first hire on, the beauty of it all is that that first hire can help you find that second hire. You already have a funnel built now. So you know what questions you're going to ask somewhat, right? You have your general questions mapped out. You have your funnel mapped out. So that person can take that, help you hire the second one. So it collapses the time. Each time you hire, you get faster, you get better. You have the people on the team that help you. And that's really truly what it means to move from a solopreneur to a CEO, is you understand how to do these things and you have a repeatable process that you know works. So those are my tips and tricks on how you need to avoid procrastination when it comes to hiring, why you need to avoid procrastination, and how you overcome some hiring challenges and streamline the hiring process. So you want to create things that are repeatable, especially that hiring funnel, and you want to stop putting it off. That's the biggest thing. Stop putting it off till tomorrow, because guess what? You will dig a bigger hole each day that goes on. You'll get further and further behind. And as we get further and further behind, we move closer and closer to burnout. And that's the reality in the space we're in. So if you have any questions about hiring, we do have a masterclass coming up soon that's going to talk about 3 steps that we use in the hiring process to make sure that we get someone stellar in there in 21 days or less. So reach out to us if you're interested in that. You can shoot us a quick email at team@erinpersinger.com. Just watch for all the pages to go up. You'll be seeing that coming soon. As always, we would love to hear from you. I would love to know what's holding you back in your hire. Is it something that I didn't mention? Then please let me hear about it. I would love to hear more about what's holding you back and why you're procrastinating. And as always, we're always ready for you to join us over at the Ethical Hiring Hub. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Streamline to Scale podcast. We hope you gained valuable insights on scaling and streamlining your business. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Remember, growing your online business can be easy. By focusing on developing lean, effective teams, creating simple systems, and implementing smart business practices, you can take your business to the next level. And if you're ready to take action and start growing your business today, head over to our website at premiervirtualoperations.com to learn more about our services and how we can help you reach your business goals. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of Streamline to Scale.